Here, coalition builder and founder of Bringing Humanity Together. Welcome to another wonderful Wednesday edition of Conversation for Humanity here on LinkedIn Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and now we're actually going to be on YouTube Live. So we're actually streaming on YouTube today. So again, welcome everyone to the Bringing Humanity Together live stream. This is one of three open forums under the Bringing Humanity Together umbrella, where people can discuss topics related to the workplace and humanity in the workplace in a very positive and constructive way. We want to know what the issues that are out there that are facing people today because it's our goal, our mission, our passion, our purpose, and I dare say our calling here at Bring Humanity Together to create environments that people would love, not only in those workplaces, but also in our very communities because we see how interconnected they really are. And also, we're dead set also with working with employers and employees to truly bring humanity back into the table of humanity and also in that place of business and whatever that sits. And also, as a reminder, we'll be always going live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Please invite your friends, your coworkers, your family members, people who love to have great and engaging conversations to not only create that better engagement, but meet people where they are and take them for who they are, but also be able to create that call to action and really do it from a true human dynamic. So, Miss Carla, how are you doing today on Wonderful Wednesday?
Uh, I'm doing good. Doing good. I'm here.
I
Made
bet you
it
were kind
through
of
the
worried.
day.
It's like, where's Chris? Where's Chris? Yet
I
again.
figured you got delayed, so I was answering text messages, and you
Well,
know,
well,
I
I,
always have
I,
an opportunity to get. I always have a plan B, something else to do.
yeah, there you go. Plan B, always. You taught me that very well. There's always a plan B. Always.
Yeah,
Always. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So, welcome everyone. Like I said, I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. I'm 2 for 2 for being late. Why? It's because you know how work goes. It's always going and ever changing. And when you think you're done, you're not done. So everything. So today, I would actually like to share with you my mission, passion, and purpose here at Bringing Humanity Together and how that got created. And Carla knows the story and everything, but I want to share with you how everything got started for me and creating this great community movement and purpose and vision. And I dare say a calling that is bringing humanity together. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, it started for me for over 15 years ago. And I asked myself this very question: should I be working with people or for people? And there's a huge distinction in and of themselves about working with and working for. Because working for others is totally different than working with people. Because when you work with others, you invest in them and they invest in you. To me, the best investment is the human investment. And you can't even put a price tag on that, ladies and gentlemen. You really can't. But when you work for someone, you help them probably more often than not entirely, but more often than not, you help them get them where they want to go and where they want to achieve and where they want to be, and maybe not necessarily you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that doesn't always happen from time to time or day to day. It's just that's the way I've seen it for a great many years, and I've worked for Fortune 500 companies, mom and pop companies. I have worked from big warehouses to just literally walking dogs. I've literally done a lot in the over 35 years I've been working since I was 16 years old. And like I said, when I really answered that question, like I said, working with people than for people, and I said, yes, I want to be working with people, that was just a step forward into a much larger world. And I knew that was a way forward. I just knew it. I didn't know the exact path, the direction, but like I said, I had the chatter in the brain, and I just knew that was something that I really wanted to explore and dive deep down into and surround myself with people who know what they know far better than me. But then fast forward to 2017 when I was a corporate recruiter for a solar company here in Lakeland, and I was asking applicants and candidates questions like, do you want to be a part of something bigger than of yourself? Do you want to leave a living and lasting impact every day in every way? Do you want to help others not only build their field of dreams, but they will in turn help build yours? And maybe even along the way, you can help them build out their legacy, and that legacy will come right back to you. It's just like I share with people every day. The very act of giving is in the very act of receiving. And that's when I really started getting really knee deep into this. I was so enthralled. I was so captured by what has moved me to such a degree. It's not even funny how I've literally have changed my way of thinking and to change my life in such a way that I know that this is what I was called to do. It was not a matter of if it was going to happen. It was only going to be a matter of when and who was on board and what comes to pass and what I can actually learn along the way and maybe adding value to people, which in turn people will add value to me and add knowledge, insights, and some clarity and whatever that might be. So, and then it wasn't soon after that. Then also my friend Linda, who's actually a pharmacy technician by trade, um, still comes to me to this very day, ladies and gentlemen, still to this very day in the year of 2022, says things like, I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of being underappreciated. I'm tired of not being heard at work. I'm tired of not being valued. And that's when I said, enough. I know what I've been called to do. I've been called to create a great human-driven organization, movement, passion, purpose, calling, call it what you will, that is bringing humanity together. Because, like I said, we're dead set, and I'm definitely dead set on creating environments that not only I will love, but others will love, that might even turn into the life that they love. And literally, it can affect every aspect of our lives if we allow that to come into our path and into our minds and into our souls, and just see it something differently, see something a little bit better than what we did yesterday. It's just like I share with people every day. If you build a bridge to and with somebody in such a way, not only does it work in their world, but also works in yours, I truly believe the next thing that comes to pass, ladies and gentlemen, is the very definition of change, which is not only a gift that everyone can share and also to receive, but also it's something that we can do from a true simplistic standpoint if we allow it to occur. And transformation is literally something that wasn't there before. Something totally different, something totally brand new, and it's there. And I learned that from our great friend here on the program, Brian Sunder, who's been a great voice on many of these broadcasts. And I learned that from him. So, like I said, that's a little bit about how bringing humanity came together. And I got Miss Carla to say, "Hey, Miss Carla, I'm sharing something with you that I truly believe it's going to be powerful and very significant and a purpose and a meaning." And then I just let Miss Carla just take it from there.
Yeah, I love your story, Chris. You know, I was driving home and I was listening to the radio, and somebody we both know and love listening to was talking about, there's an article out there and I need to find it. Maybe you can look for it later. I'll be busy, but it was talking about dreaming big, and don't tell people to dream big. And it's okay to dream big. And my immediate thought was, a lot of people dream big, but they don't take any action on it, you know. Or they say, you know, yeah, I want to have my own business, but I don't know what I'm going to do, you know. But, you know, they were talking in the article about it's okay to have dreams, but dream small and achieve big. It's like people will go to college and they say they want to be an artist or they want to be a musician or something like that. And that's all well and good. Does it pay the bills? You know, you have to have something that's going to, you know, keep the lights on, keep you in health insurance or whatever, keep your car going, get your insurances, you know, all that kind of stuff. You got to have the reality of that is, yeah, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. How are you going to do it? And do it in small steps. That it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in 6 months. It's not going to happen in a year. It's not going to happen in 2 years. You know, for a lot of businesses, a lot of people don't make any income their first year. Just depend. I mean, in a brick and mortar business, so to speak. You know, a lot of people don't make an income, but there are ways to make an income your first month, your first year, you know. But kind of have everything in reality. And like I love how you have decided that you want to work for people and not actually work for an organization, that you want to
Yeah,
give back to others.
yeah, working with people is far more significant and far more powerful than working for others. Because when you work for others, it's literally you're doing it for them, and they're, like I said, it not be in all cases, but most often not in my experience, when you work for others, they were only are thinking about themselves and not about you. And to me, leadership dictates, in my view, that if you're of a servant leader mindset and of a servant heart and wanting to really give of yourself to such the nth degree that you know as a leader, the best way to be a leader is not only to create more leaders, but also to create more followers and create that environment in which not only they can love, but might even turn into the life that they love if you allow that to occur. And that transformation can take place if, like I said, if you just do things that are just so conducive to engagement, collaboration, spontaneity, creativity. All those things are interconnected, Carla. And once you let that be for what it is versus what it's not, what can we not achieve and do not only in our lives, but in the lives of others and with others?
Yeah, well, a lot of people just go to a job and they are told what to do. Do one, two, three, four, and five. Okay, I've done it. I'm going to sit around until the end of the day comes, and I'm going to go home, and you're going to pay me a paycheck. When a lot of people decide that they want to go into business, I think we were talking about this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to so many people that are like, "Oh, I want to do a nonprofit." Well, where are you going to get your money? Where are you going to get
Right.
the money that you want to help? Because it costs money if you want to be like, if you want to do a nonprofit to help people find jobs or whatever,
Right.
what kind of money do you need? How much you're going to have to spend just getting out the door. It's great to have that dream that you want to start a nonprofit, but you got to figure out how you're going to get there. You got to start small, and that might be working another job and saving X% that's going to go towards your nonprofit costs. It may be evenings writing grants to see if you can get money for your nonprofit or whatever. You've got to start small, otherwise and make a plan. Otherwise, that dream is never going to happen. And you have to be realistic about it. And a
Yeah.
lot of people get lost because they when they lose a job, they don't realize that no one's going to tell you to get up and go into the office and work on your expense report. You know,
Right.
nobody's going to tell you that you've got to sit down and reach out to 10 people, reach out to your messages on LinkedIn and also connect with other people. No one's going to sit there and do your social media for you. Just because you're working for yourself doesn't mean that you're just laid back all the time. For me, excuse me, Tuesdays and Thursdays are my busiest days. And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm with my dad. But this morning I left at 7:30. So I literally got up out of bed, took a shower, threw my clothes on, and didn't even get on my phone, But luckily I had some time when I was at his house waiting for the repair person to come. You know, you have to find that time. You have to find those spare moments, because when people say I don't have time to do a business, these are the same people that are saying they don't have time to exercise. No one's going to tell you that you've got to get up maybe early and work a power hour in the evening, because if you don't reach out to people and share what you do with them, they're not going to know what you do.
Or share what you love.
Yeah. Well, that comes naturally when you love what you're sharing.
Exactly. And see, for a
But
lot
it's
of
I
years,
mean,
Carla.
I'm passionate about what I do, but it's work. I just
Yeah.
don't sit back and enjoy the fruits of my labor, you know?
Right. Right. But for a lot of years, Carla, I thought that, because we kind of touched on this yesterday about who defines success, you or others. I thought for a lot of years, my success is determined about actual how much blood, sweat, and tears and energy and just showing up early but staying late, not taking a break, not taking a lunch. And I will tell you one thing. I love my wife to death, but Melinda, she is just a go-getter because she wants to get things done. She is so of the giving nature. She don't take her 15-minute breaks. Sometimes they have to literally push her out the door to try to even get her to take her lunch because she's so dedicated to her job.
And
And I,
you know what? If she left tomorrow, nobody would care.
and that's what I really bring into the
That's really
conversation.
sad, but that's just the nature of business these days.
Yeah. But see, I've always brought this into the conversation for every person that I've met on this planet. The status quo mindset says, Carla, that employees are replaceable. But I truly believe here, and we believe here at Bringing Humanity Together, that people are irreplaceable.
Well, they can be replaced, but like Sandy said, turnover costs a company money. You know,
correct.
if you treat your employees bad and you don't, you know, you don't encourage them to take a break or even give them the opportunity of, hey, you know, I've got the floor. Why don't you go take a break, go take a lunch, and to where it actually feels like there's teamwork.
Right.
Then, you know, people are going to get burnt out. I mean, I see it all the time in healthcare. You know,
you've done it for 40 years.
I did it for 40 years. Yep. I was that person that would skip breakfast, never get breakfast, go, oh, it's 10 o'clock. I can hold out till noon.
Mm-hmm.
Go grab something, you know, work at my desk. And then I just thought, you know what, I'm killing myself and no one cares. So I started making my smoothie and I go out and take a walk at lunch.
Right. Right.
I said, I'm out of here. Don't call me.
Right. And see, I truly believe, Miss Carla, for a lot of years, we have, for whatever rhyme or reason, at least in my point of view, have gotten it wrong. We have wanted to literally gotten to a point in our lives that we had to, like I said, get our nose to the grindstone. We have to get to work early. We have to do this. We have to do that. And we just thought that was the best way to success.
Well, it's almost like, you know, we keep doing and we keep doing and we keep doing. And it's almost like trying to please your parents sometimes. You know, you keep doing and doing and doing and doing and doing, and you don't get any recognition for it. Healthcare workers are the world's worst at putting themselves first.
Right.
And all the healthcare workers that I reach out to, you know, to share what I do and encourage them to take care of their health, I cannot tell you how many times you would think that would be a great niche. And they're probably the most quiet niche because they believe they don't have time. They don't have that self-worth that they need to be taking care of themselves. They don't put themselves first. They don't realize that when you put your health first, you're better able to give to other people, whether it be your family, your kids, your spouse, your clients that you work with, the patients that you work with, your people that you work with. When you are healthier, you can give more.
Yeah. And I just like what Graham just
going to watch out after your health for you.
Yeah. And I just like what Graham just said there.
I can tell who that was.
Yeah, that was Graham. Graham said, I agree, Carla. It is up to us to get things done.
We've got to take care of ourselves. I mean, I was just sending a message to somebody that wanted to know about what I did. And I was telling her that, you know, that my life changed in 2015. You know, she gone back to school and got a master's degree. And I said, you know, congratulations. I did that too. I started with 2 degrees in 2009, and then in 2014, I started my master's program, and I about killed myself out of stress and destroying my health and putting everything else first, my job, my studies, whatever. And I was a mess. And I decided I needed to take my health back because otherwise I was going to end up killing myself.
Right.
I don't
Right.
mean that like literally I was going to commit suicide or anything like that, but I saw myself at 55 going, what do I want the rest of my life to look like?
Mhm.
And it was just such a transformational change. You've heard that I'm 63 and I'm healthier now than when I was 36.
Yeah. Yeah. And,
So
and I want to go back to what you were talking about earlier about why do we not dream big enough? For me, I was really limited in my dreams. I really was. I only saw what can only be done in the short term of things. For years ago, even before I met Belinda, I was so short termed to such the nth degree, Carla. I couldn't see
well,
the
there's nothing
forward.
wrong with that. That's realistic.
Yeah.
It's setting short-term goals going, how much money do I want to make? I want to make $500 a month to cover my health care insurance or to cover my car payment or whatever. I want to make 1,000 a month. Just depend. I mean, this is just very general because depending on what you're doing, it can be different. But it's that short term that eventually, like for Jim and I, we knew that eventually we want to relocate down to the southwest coast of Florida. I don't call it retirement because I'm always going to be promoting health and wellness with people because I want everybody to feel amazing. So it's not retirement for me. If Jimmy the Butcher can be doing it at 94, I'm going to be doing it at 94. Okay. But
And
it's kind of a mindset. I know that if we want to get down there and we want to be debt free because we don't want a house payment, I'm not going to go buy a bigger house or anything like that. And this is, very long term, but I know what I need to do short term. And that's where they talk about the reverse engineering of what you
right,
want. And for us, it was, we want a small house. We want to be comfortable. We want to be able to play golf 365 days a year if we want to. We want to be close to the beach to where we can walk on the beach. That is what success is to us. That's our ultimate goal. That's
yeah,
how we want to live out our future years. And
right,
everybody's different, but
right.
I think you had said something yesterday about, I don't know if it was this conversation or another one we had about how you're not good at reverse engineering.
I am not.
And
I am just
I think if you reverse engineer it and go, okay, eventually I want to bring Melinda home to where she never has to work. Well, what do you need to replace her salary?
fine.
You take that figure, that's a concrete figure, $100,000. Well, how much is that a month? And so how much do I need to generate in my business to make that happen? And to make that happen, what are the steps I need to do? What is
Right,
it I need to sell? How many clients do I need? Whatever it happens to be,
correct.
reverse engineering that plan and having that concrete thing that I need X amount each week. I need, and yes, you're not going to necessarily have that happen every week in the beginning, but at least you got goals because those goals are going to get you motivated.
Correct.
So that's the part of it, reverse engineering. I think we've talked about this before. A lot of people talk about vision boards.
Right.
And they get these beautiful pictures from all these magazines, online, whatever. And, somebody says, oh, what's that beach picture? Oh, I don't know. I found it somewhere in a magazine. Well, think of it in terms of what if you had like if I took a picture of Fort Myers and the
Right.
beach and the sunset, and I put that on a vision board, and I remember what that was like, And I mean, Jim and I were talking about this, because we're going down next week, and we're on Facebook with a Fort Myers Beach group. And there's like sunset pictures, and we're like, yes, that's what we want. That's different from going, oh, this is some beach I found somewhere. Make it concrete. What are your favorite restaurants that you're going to go to when you have more free time together? Where are you going to travel? Make that, what's on your bucket list, and actually make it concrete, because when you make it concrete, those are the things that are going to motivate you to do what you need to do in your business.
Correct.
And not just sit there and wait for a paycheck to come in.
Yeah.
Because paychecks aren't even paying people's bills now.
And when I was actually making a delivery today, and I'm glad you said that, Carla, I saw this, and I didn't see it actually. I was listening to it on the radio. I was actually listening to Brian Kilmeade's show. And when I was coming back from one of the caterings, I was going to another. The guest host of Brian Kilmeade's show said, "It's amazing now what is happening is because where we're at in the current state of our economy here in the United States, people are actually going out to eat less, and sometimes more and more people are literally eating either one meal a day or probably even less than that.
Yep.
Just to make ends meet.
Oh yeah.
And that's frightening.
Well, it's people are having to get back to the basics. They're having to put food on the table. There are people that are getting like $5 worth of gas just so they can get to work.
Yeah.
Because people typically, not everybody, but a large majority of people, years ago they talked about making sure that you had 3 months of expenses saved up to where
Right.
if you were laid off from a job or whatever, you were hurt or whatever. And how many people would say, oh, that's never going to happen to me?
Right.
When I left healthcare, I told everyone they needed a plan B because they're next. Oh, I'm good. And they started dropping like flies.
Right.
And, I've always been a saver. Okay. But there are a lot of people that can't even get to work because they can't put gas in their car. Their paycheck is not stretching enough.
Mm-hmm.
And what, the average credit card debt was over 6,000 grand to begin with. Now it's probably up to close to 10 grand now. And you wonder why I was excited to pay off my car a year early?
Exactly. And see, when we know that we've been called to do something, we know that it is our passion, it is our purpose, it is our everything. For me, at least, and I can't speak to everybody or for everybody, I truly believe, like I said, it doesn't matter what the economy is. It doesn't matter what happens tomorrow because we can't predict the future. I'm not like Marty McFly and can take the DeLorean and go back to the past to go change the future and go 88 miles an hour and do all that. I just know that. But I have seen this even before the pandemic. I knew this was something that it was really going to not only create that life that not only I will love, but also what Melinda will love. That when I go out and when we go out together as a team, me and you and many others, and we go share what bringing humanity together is really about. And why we're going to do what we're going to do, because we know that if we help others, it's going to come back and help us. It's just that simple.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, I just truly know that, like I said, if the lights go out tomorrow, what's going to make us move forward? It's the things that are so tangible and more priceless than like no other time in human history is because money can't buy happiness. Money can't buy love. Money can't buy success. Money can't buy you fame and fortune. None
Money
of
pays
that.
the bills.
Yeah.
Money
All
puts
money,
food on the table, and money keeps the lights on.
correct. Money can get you to a certain point of that. But I'm not relegated by money. I am not. Money is a good thing to have. It's a good way to be able to get things to what you want, or get the things that you need, like groceries or gas in your car, or food on the table. I mean, all those kind of things. But I'm not going to be dictated by that. I'm going to be dictated by the things that really mean something to not only to me and to Melinda, but mean something to you and to Graham or to Brian or to anyone else who's a part of this. Because I know if when I make it about them and not about me, I'm going to win out in the end, and so will everybody else.
Well,
Because I
servant
want,
leaders always win.
yeah, exactly. It's like what the great John C. Maxwell says. Uh, People don't know how much you know until they know how much you care.
Well, it starts with that.
Of course, it starts with that.
It's got to start with that.
Because if you don't even care about the people that's working with you, not for you, because it's a different dynamic, totally different. But when you work with them and you invest in them and they invest in you, and they are knowing that that value that you bestow onto them is priceless in and of itself, they will go far and beyond what you even expect them to do and to go. And you will even get far more and beyond in the way that you want to get things done in a return kind of dynamic, even though you're not expecting anything in return, but you will get so much more out of it. Because when you really make it about Carla or Sandy or
Well, it
James or anyone else, then that flips the whole dynamic and flips the whole environment, because people will know that. People can actually see a fake a mile away.
well,
People,
it's not like you want to treat them nice so you can get more work out of them. You treat them nice and you treat them well because of what they're doing for you, and that you want to help them grow, not only professionally but personally. And when that connection is there and that partnership is there, you get so much more out of it than what you ever expected.
correct, correct. And that is why I believe human development is going to be the next phase of business, because there's not just personal development anymore. We can do that all day. We know that that's out there. We also know that business development's out there. That's been there probably since the dawn of business. It's always been evolving on both dynamics. We've always evolved both sides. But when you put both of them together and you really make it about people, because every business is in the people business, it's there. But how do we create those environments that people will love, that might even turn into the life that they love? How do we do that? Maybe we start with conversation. Maybe we start listening to one another, understanding one another, understanding the alignments that show up for them and what values they bring to the table, what matters to them in a real true coexistence kind of dynamic, whether to be an organization, small mom and pop's restaurant or retail store, whatever that might be. When you have that collaborative dynamic to where what I want in my life is going to have an impact on Carla's life, and then in that same dynamic is going to be done in the reverse, then we truly say, hey, how can we make this work? I do this, or Carla does that. It's just like with me. I didn't sleep at a Motel 6 and became a legal eagle last night. I just did. When it comes to legal contracts and all that kind of stuff, that's not my forte. Same thing with numbers. I just know 1+1 = 2. When it comes to doing a finance dynamic of knowing your accounting, knowing your books, knowing your P&Ls, I've only done a few of them in my life. And that was because I was helping my father way back when he worked at Red Lobster, and I had to actually call in numbers 2 weeks in a row. And I was like 10 years old, and I was like, Dad, am I doing this right? Yeah, you're doing this right. Just keep reading the numbers, you know? And I just know what I've been gifted at.
Well, I
And
think
yes,
you need to you need to create a community where everybody
correct,
works
correct.
together and grows together and takes pride in what they're doing, not just showing up for a paycheck.
Well, and see, I've said that to many people, Carla. That very same community that we live in is the same one that we work in. It's
Mm-hmm.
already there. And why people have not really realized that and seen it, not only from a leadership perspective, but also from a human connective dynamic perspective, is again, sometimes we get in our own way, or we allow others to get in our own way, because they will put that reality in saying, hey, it's only about us. You have to do what we ask you to do or tell you to do. And that's why I truly believe in the power of ask. I don't tell anything to anybody. I don't. I ask of them, because if I ask of them, they will be more inclined to help me when I need help, and then say, hey, can you help me? They won't turn a blind eye at me and say, I'm not going to help Chris today. Who cares? That does this out in one ear and out the other, because then they won't care. They don't mind. But I believe from a true culture and human connected standpoint, for whatever rhyme or reason, we have done that. And it's like what Brian has said to me many times. He believes that if we can help leaders and managers actually work with us to such a degree that not only we make them look good, but we have them actually work in our benefit just as much as their benefit to us, that we actually are benefiting them. I believe when that comes to pass, everyone is in a true collaborative dynamic. That's when humanity will hit it big, because it's not about, hey, I have this many titles in my name. I'm the CEO, East Coast VP, this, that, and the other. Have all these titles. What do you actually have to show for that?
Now, well, I remember when I was in healthcare, everyone was like, "Oh, you're a nurse practitioner." I said, "You know what? I could teach you what I do.
Yeah.
I just happen to have to go to school to be able to do what I do, but anybody could learn."
And see, this is what I learned from my father. He said, Chris, everyone is teachable and coachable if they allow themselves to be. Everyone can do that. But sometimes, like I said again, we get in our own way for whatever rhyme or reason. We put up those obstacles, like I said, and we just either we don't listen, or we think that we don't have enough knowledge. We don't
Or
have
we
enough.
know how to do it when we're really making it harder for ourselves. And yeah.
Correct. And especially for many years when I first started off at McDonald's, oh my God, I was making it so hard on myself. When I first took my first crew training test, it was about, you would have to do it at that time. It was like less than probably 4 hours. You actually had to watch videos, answer questions, and all that kind of
God, I
stuff.
remember that.
Yeah, and you had to go through this 4 hour class to train. When I did that, I was so just up in arms. I'm like, I was telling my mom, because I was still living at home. I was like, Mom, I don't think I'm going to make it. She's like, Chris, you just got to slow down. Think about what question is being asked,
Yeah.
reflect on it, and then say, how do I execute on it? And that's when I got to. And then one of the great people who was there, who was a manager, his name was Craig Bishop. He said, Chris, I could not believe what you came out with this crew trainer test. And I was like, well, why are you surprised? Well, what's surprising? He said, every time I see you work, you beat yourself up to such an degree You don't think you got what you got. And he said, Chris, you're not going to believe, but you not only passed the test, but can you believe what you passed it with? I was like, what? He's like, you passed it with a 95.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? Really?
You doubted yourself.
Yeah. And like I said, he was just so flabbergasted because he knew I could do the job. I just was so just beating myself up and down the other because, like I said, I just was so afraid that I could step into that opportunity, and I did it for 3.5 years.
I remember when I took my nursing boards for my nurse practitioner degree, I had to go to like a testing center, and you sign in, all that other kind of stuff, and they put you in front of in a cubicle with a computer screen.
Uh-huh.
And then you take the test, and you don't know, you can't tell whether you passed or not based on how many questions there were.
Right.
And I felt pretty confident that I had done it. There were a few things on there that I'd never seen before.
Right.
So I thought, okay, common sense time. Some of the stuff I laughed at. I was like, who made up this question? But then it had you take a survey afterwards. And I'm like,
Right.
the hell with a survey. I want to know what my life's gonna be like, So I go walking out, and the lady evidently has like the scores on a computer screen, and she
Right.
goes, I don't know why you have such a worried look on your face. You passed. I said, well, you never know, you never know. But what the score was or anything like that. And
yeah.
I passed.
My wife, I just love her to death because every year she actually, it's on her even year, she's got to take the state exam for the pharmacy technician certification.
Ugh.
On her odd year, I believe it's the national. And every year she gets questions that just really boggles her mind. But then she looks at it and she's like, that doesn't make any sense. So now when she does these things, they've now flipped it to where when you take the test, they don't give you the test and then you come back and say, oh, this is the right answer. I see it now. This is the answer that I should have had. What you have to do is you have to go back, retake the whole test, remember the question that you missed. And I think on either it's the state exam or the national, or it could be both. And they do this even internally at Walmart because they actually have to do modules internally for pharmacy supervisors and technicians and stuff. They actually have that capability that if you do get something wrong, you know what the correct answer was. But she's been doing pharmacy technician for close to almost 25 years. And like I said, there's something that she looked at it and she's like, are you kidding me? Why are you bringing that up? That is just like, it's just asinine.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, we have continuing education for our nursing license, and then you have continuing education for your nurse practitioner, but you can also use them for both. So it's not too bad, and you can pick your topics you want to do it on. So there's no exam per se, thank goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. And for her, she's passed every exam that she's done. She always gets re-upped and she doesn't have to worry about it. But like I said, she comes to me sometimes. She said, Chris, look at this question. And I'll look at it. I'm like, why are they saying that? And then she tells me the answer, well, what it really should be compared to what I think it should be, because I don't know a lot about pharmacy technicians and what they do. I know they do like 95% of the work compared to what the pharmacist does. But I sometimes I take a stab on a few things. She's like, nope, this is what the answer is. And then when she tells me, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what it really is all about. And you got up in arms about that. She's like, well, I knew that's what it was, but the way they framed it, it was just like, huh? What?
Well, part of the time you have to, when you're doing stuff like that, you have to say, what information is it that they want me to know? And a lot of times you can tell that by some of the crazy answers that they have.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've had a lot of them in your nursing time too, as well. The way you've taken tests and that kind of thing, especially when you had to go for your master's degree and
Oh, yeah.
everything, you'd be like, what?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember my last semester in school, the instructors, our last semester was like we had clinical and they reviewed all the different sections, but it was also kind of a review for taking your nurse practitioner boards. And they told us, oh, you're going to fail. The first practice test you do, you're probably going to fail it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I bombed the hell out of that thing. And I'm thinking, oh my God, all this money, all this time, all this effort, I'm never going to be. And I cannot tell you how many nurse practitioners have done the same thing. And so when I talk to them and they're getting ready to take their boards, I'll tell them, you're probably going to flub the first one. Don't even worry about it. Just realize that you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And the more exposure you have to particular situations or whatever, you're going to know what the right answer is, and you're going to know why it's the right answer.
I have to ask you this, Carla. When you did clinicals, and I know you had to go into a hospital to do that, or a center that's actually specially made for clinicals, how was that experience for you when you did clinicals?
My experience for what?
How was your experience when you did clinicals?
I didn't hear the last part.
How was your experience when you did clinicals?
Oh, when I did clinical? It was different because I was more shadowing and listening than anything else. And then there were some interesting stories too that I won't go into, that I had gotten a provider from a search firm and that I paid money for. And they were so horrid. I told him never hire this person again. Never use them. Yeah. So it was interesting.
So, clinicals for how long?
Oh gosh, I did one. Let's see, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semesters. So I had 5 semesters of clinical.
So that was almost like almost close to 2 years.
It was the total program was 2 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The hardest part was, if we had an interaction with a patient, with a physician or a provider or whatever, whoever we were shadowing with, we had to enter them into a log. And so you had to have like some sort of identifier. It was like a patient number or something. Maybe their age, male or female, what their primary diagnosis was, what was some differential diagnoses, and all this other stuff. That was the hardest part.
Well, I'm sure.
Because that was almost like double work.
Right.
So I took a little notebook and I would write down their number and particulars about them. And I would go home and go through each one of my little pages in my notebook and put it in the program that we had to submit.
Wow. Now, when
20 people a day.
Yeah. When you did
by the end of the week, you had 40 to 60 people that you had to do data entry on.
Yeah.
And at 11 o'clock at night, they all start looking the same.
But when you did that, Carla, did you do it? Because I know when doctors have to end up becoming doctors, and I know there's RNs and LPNs and all those kind of people and everything. When you're on a rotation basis, you did some on a morning schedule and then some on an evening schedule, right?
Well, when I was doing clinical, is mainly in offices, whether it be OBGYN, GYN, primary care, something like that.
So you actually never did it in an actual hospital?
No, because that's not that's not truly women's health per se.
Oh, okay.
If I had done like midwifery, maybe, of course I'd be doing deliveries and stuff like that, in a hospital. Or if I was going to be like an emergency nurse practitioner or acute care, then I could, do some practicum in like ICU or the ER or something
Yeah.
like that in a
Yeah.
hospital.
And that's what I usually think of when I think of nurses. They have to go through all that stuff in the hospital. I didn't know that
Oh, I
there's
did
another
that when I
side
was
of
in
that.
nursing. When I got my diploma in nursing, I had clinical hours, but I didn't do clinical hours for my bachelor's because I was working at the same time. So I got credit for that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, for a lot of years, I thought when it comes to nursing, you had to end up working in the hospital setting, but I didn't know that there was a totally different
It was
dynamic that
like a
you do the
straight,
same.
like if I had never gone to, like, let's just say I went to a community college and I got an associate's degree in nursing. Yes, there's probably hospital experience, clinical hours, um, related to that. If I went to another university per se to get my bachelor's degree for 2 more years, yes, there would be clinical exposure that's like that. But the program I did, which was an RN to BSN, I actually got credit for all the sciences and psych and sociology and stuff and chemistries and anatomy and physiology, all that kind of stuff that I'd done years ago. Plus, by that time, I had 30 years of nursing experience. So I got credit for clinical hours too. So I didn't have to do any clinicals per se.
Now, I have to ask you this because I know you mentioned it. Why is psychology a big dynamic in nursing?
Well, you have to understand a lot of different things that are going on with people and their mental health, and it affects your physical health, and it's just important.
So, was psych a big thing for you to take?
I hated my psych rotation in nursing school. I don't know who was more depressed, the patients or me. It was horrible. And we used to have to write up these, what were they called? They were almost like a conversational dialogue. I can't remember the names. They had some acronym with it. I can't remember the name of them. But I mean,
Yeah.
you had to use like open-ending questions like, well, how does that make you feel? And, all these to stimulate conversation and stuff. And of course, I did everything wrong. I was so dumb. But I was also dumb because there were people in my class that were like making it up just to turn the project in. And I'm like bombing the project and having to rewrite it and do another one with another patient. I wasn't even smart enough to make it up.
Wow.
So it was it
I,
was it was it was so depressing.
wow.
So depressing because we were over at Georgia Regional Mental Hospital,
Okay.
and there were people that were manic depressive, schizophrenic, and they were just like literally crazy. It was really depressing. It was really depressing.
Yeah.
And I think I caught every bug from any of the kids in pediatrics. That's when I think I've ever been the sickest in my life. Yeah. So,
Wow. I bet you that stint that you did there was just an eye opener for you. I'm sure.
oh yeah.
So if there was one thing that you loved about nursing and you had to kind of name it out, what would that one thing that really is the thing you say? It's the thing that I just loved the most. What was that?
What, in nursing? What do you mean? What was I
What
didn't hear.
what would be the one thing that you loved about nursing? What would be the
Oh,
one
about
thing?
nursing, okay. Probably the connection with my patients. That's probably one reason why I never really wanted to go into leadership, because I enjoyed my interaction with my patients. And when I lost that, I was just lost. I was just a robot offering service, and I really didn't have that connection with people. But I mean,
And that
I still remember special patients that I had back in the early 80s, 1980, 81, even in nursing school.
Wow.
That's important. You get to meet the family and everything else, and you see them day in and day out, and you grieve with them when their family member dies or whatever. And that's what I miss the most about nursing.
And and I'm sure you realized that along that journey, you found out that what you were actually doing wasn't healthcare; it was sick care.
Yeah, sick care. Yeah, it sadly became sick care over the years, and I see that every day.
Yeah.
You know.
Time to change that, Carla. Time to change that.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
it
I
is.
just feel, you've heard this before, that people have the ability to take care of their health and don't complain to me about high insurance costs and copays and all this stuff that you're going to have to money you're going to have to put out for medications when you're not taking care of yourself. It's not that hard,
Don't overcomplicate it.
And keep it simple. And when you feel amazing, why would you stop,
Exactly. So again, Miss Carla, I am so humbled and honored that you're on this journey with me here at Bringing Humanity Together. I'm so just thrilled, and also working with you, also not only on my health, but also working with you to where I can create that lifestyle that I truly love through not only the art of health.
Helping you get out of your own way.
And like I said, I'm just so humbled and honored that I can be in your life as well. You and Jim have just been fantastic to me, like Graham has, like Brian has, Sandy has. The list can go on and on of the people who's just truly impacted me.
Hey, Graham, I got a challenge for you, buddy, if you're still on. You got to get on Friday so I can take Chris a Texas Roadhouse gift card next week. I'm leaving Sunday, so Friday's your opportunity that I can send Chris to dinner with Melinda. Okay?
Why Friday though?
Because I'm leaving Sunday. He's got to get on Friday. Well, so I can bring it to you.
Wouldn't that be Thursday?
Oh, Thursday, yeah. I'm thinking bad. I'm sorry. I'm on
Friday.
Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Dad. Sorry, Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow. You got to get on tomorrow.
There you go. Again, Miss Carla, thank you so much for leading this conversation with me today about sharing my story, and I'm so thrilled to share it with the world. And if you'd like to know more about Bringing Humanity Together, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or to Miss Carla. We have a huge community group. If you'd like to be a part of our great and growing community, you can, and I will put the links in the post later on when I get home. But here's our Facebook group that we have. Please check us out there. Here is our Twitter page. Please follow us there. Here is our business page here on LinkedIn. We would love for you to follow us and connect with us there. Here is, of course, our YouTube channel now, since we're now on YouTube. Please follow us there. And here is our LinkedIn community. Please, we would love for you to be a part of our community too as well. So we're looking for great people who not only be community leaders, not only on our Facebook group, but also our LinkedIn group. So if you'd like to know more about that, please don't hesitate to reach out to Ms. Carla or myself. Or if you know people who want to be a part of what we're building here at Bring Humanity Together, please let us know. We would love to find those people, whether it be in finance, whether it be in legal, whether it be in social media, website, or, like I said, community leaders. We would love to have those people involved in what we're building here and everything. So, again, Ms. Carla, thank you so much for being here today. I greatly appreciate you. And again, everyone, thank you for taking the time to watch us today. Thank you, Graham, for being on. We greatly appreciate you, Graham, so much. Yes, you should definitely get on tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have Graham on tomorrow.
Graham's going to be on tomorrow. Yeah. I'm not looking for a Roadhouse gift card, but just saying, if you could join, that'd be kind of nice. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, we can do a health and wellness show, and he can talk about his coaching that he does for his clients in
I,
health and
I,
wellness.
I think that would be a beautiful thing.
Come on, Graham.
Coaching health and wellness with Carla and Graham. Why not?
There
That
you
could
go.
be a great thing.
There you go.
There you go. So from all of us here at Bring Humanity Together, have a great day. Make your day, and we'll see tomorrow. I'll see you all tomorrow. Let me ask you this, Miss Carla. Is it 5 o'clock somewhere with Carla, or is it Humanity Happy Hour?
I'm open for anything.
Because it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
If it's 5 o'clock somewhere, I'm gonna have to get my fancy glasses out.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good day, everyone. Make it your day, and we'll see you tomorrow on Humanity Happy Hour. Have a good day, everyone.